Today we discuss small scale fading. Small scale fading. So in previous class we discussed the large scale fading, where if a user moves significantly to some other location, or if a user moves by a large distance, then we observe random fluctuations in the signal level. But in the small scale fading, even a user moves in the order of lambdas, so we are going to observe the received power or amplitude level, what? There will be a random fluctuations in received power, even if it is over a shorter distance of in the order of lambdas, maybe 10 lambdas, 10 lambda to 20 lambda. So that is small scale fading. So we are going to observe random fluctuations over shorter distances. So before that, we will now discuss about the Doppler shift or Doppler effect. So due to Doppler effect, the receivers which are in motion will observe a shift in the carrier frequency. Actually, transmitter communicate with the carrier frequency some Fc, but if a user is, so it's a distance axis, if a user is in motion, so he is moving with the constant velocity v, and say this is the propagation distance from transmitter to the receiver at this point, say that's d. As the user is in continuous motion, the propagation distance will be increasing, and as time progresses, so thereby what happens is the propagation distance will be it will be a function of time, and thereby the propagation delay will also be a function of time. When propagation delay is a function of time, then the phase will be a continuous phase, and that continuous phase creates a shift in the carrier frequency that we are now going to see. Say for example, at t equal to 0, say it is started from here, and at this point, say after some time t, this distance will be, if it is moving with velocity v, at this location the distance is vt. Now we are just analyzing how much shift will come in the carrier frequency. We are analyzing. Say if this is the angle of arrival here, theta, and assuming this distance is, which is vt, if d is much greater than vt, you can assume the same here, the angle also approximately the same as this theta, and this at this point the received wave has traveled by an extra distance of say delta d, because up to here this distance is d, from here it is what, this distance is delta d. So thereby at this location the received waveform is something like cos of omega c into t minus some delta tau, means it is additional propagation delay as compared to the received waveform at this point, because this is having extra distance of travel, that is the amount of what, delta d. So that causes this much of propagation delay, that is delta tau. So you can find delta tau as, so that is the delay with respect to this point. You can find delta tau as delta d, which is the extra distance delta d, by the speed of propagation. See, and you can also find delta d in terms of velocity v as simple trigonometry you can apply here. So it is vt cos theta by c. You can substitute here, then you will get the received waveform. So we are not interested here in amplitude, we are only interested in the phase omega ct minus omega c into delta tau. Delta tau is equal to delta d by c, and so cos of, you can write this as, it is 2 pi fc, which is the carrier frequency fc which is transmitted, t minus 2 pi fc into delta d amplitude. So vt cos theta, v is velocity, and divided by c. And if you see c by fc is what actually lambda, so you can simplify this further as you can take 2 pi common here, so fc will come here and minus v by lambda cos theta into t. If you see the received waveform here is having this form of equation where carrier frequency is changed by or decremented by this amount. So what? V by lambda cos theta. So this is the shift, we call it as Doppler shift. The Doppler shift is equal to V by lambda cos theta, where V is the velocity of the receiver which is moving, which is in motion, of continuous motion with velocity V, and theta is angle of arrival, and lambda is the wavelength for the propagation. And this will be a negative shift if this user is moving away from the base station. If the user is coming towards the base station or transmitter with a velocity v, then you can similarly derive this, and you will get here for that positive plus sign here. So if a user is coming towards the base station or towards the receiver, towards the transmitter, you will get this one. So then the shift will be positive if the user travels towards the transmitter. So shift will be negative. So this is the amount of Doppler shift. It can be negative or positive. That depends on the way the direction of the user. So the maximum Doppler shift is actually, the maximum value is only this one. So we can write this as Fm cos theta, where we can write the maximum Doppler shift. The maximum Doppler shift is equal to Fm. It will come when theta is equal to 0. It means if transmitter and receiver are in the same direction, and if it is moving like this or coming towards like this, then the what? Because then the angle of arrival will be 0, theta will be 0. Then you get what? Doppler shift is equal to just v by lambda. So this is what actually the Doppler effect. So we will use this to analyze the received signals for what? Small scale effects. For small scale effects, we are going to analyze the received signal. See this one. So we take a multipath environment, where a complete multipath environment like this. There is a transmitter and receiver. There may be a line of sight path, and there may be a reflected path, and it may be what? We take this, it may be diffracted. The reflected may be got diffracted, may be some obstruction present here. And there, because it radiates equal in all directions, so some may get, and here some hill may be present. And because it is impinging upon a rough surface, scattering phenomena will happen. In scattering, the incident waveform or ray will split into multiple rays, something like this. And something, it may go like this and come here. Maybe here some building is there, strictly a reflecting surface, something like that. And so this is the distance, so this is the 0, so this is the distance axis. And if it is moving, the receiver is moving, and each of these paths will experience different Doppler shifts, because so it is making an angle of theta, and it is making an angle of arrival theta 1, it may be making an angle of arrival theta 2, like that. Different rays will experience different Doppler shifts, but the maximum Doppler shift, which is v by lambda, is same, because the velocity of the receiver is common for all the paths, multiple. So this is one path, there are multiple paths are there, so each path will have their own Doppler shift because they make different angle of arrivals. So theta we call it as actually angle of arrival. Okay. So this may be like this. You can include multiple number of rays are getting combined at the receiver, and it will produce some resultant signal at the receiver. So a receiver signal is not due to only one path of communication, one path of signal. It is actually received signal is what due to multipath propagation. So just we now take, say for example, we are transmitting actually band pass waveforms. Maybe S of t is a band pass waveform that we are transmitting here, and again and receiving is, so receiving, say receiving band pass signal can be written as some R of t. So S of t is transmitted band pass, and this is what received band pass. Received band pass signal. So if you see this diagram, means this one, the multipath scenario. So R of t is actually sum of many number of waveforms, many number of one is coming through line of sight, diffracted, reflected, scattered, like this. Many number of waveforms. So it is sum of many number of waveforms. So all of them are nothing but replicas of S of t only, but they will be differently attenuated because line of sight offers a particular attenuation, reflected, diffracted will offers different attenuation, similarly scattered offers different attenuation. So it is sum of the attenuation we are modeling by alpha I. So this is ith path attenuation, and they will be differently delayed. So those multipaths will be differently delayed, that is what t minus tau I. So you can write what the received band pass signal is nothing but sum of multiple differently attenuated and differently delayed band pass signal. So why? Because differently delayed is because each path has its own propagation distance. So because thereby each path will have its own propagation delay, that is what tau I. So alpha I and tau I is what this is ith path attenuation coefficient and what ith path propagation delay. In the ith path propagation delay. So this way you can write what the received signal as relating the transmitted band pass signal like this. But if you see in general, any band pass signal can be written as in terms of its low pass equivalent like this. Say transmitted S of t. So you can write this as real part of x of t into e power j 2 pi fct. If you see S of t, so x of t is what actually, it is a baseband equivalent of the S of t, where fc is the carrier frequency of, means the center frequency of S of t. So the center frequency here is, in band pass it is fc, in baseband it is what, the center frequency is 0, means it is centered 0 and it is centered fc. So that is the relationship between the band pass and low pass signals. So x of t is the transmitted baseband signal and S of t is the transmitted band pass signal. So thereby you can also write this is the this is also band pass signal. You can write the received baseband signal. So you can write R of t also like this. R of t also is a band pass signal. You can write like this. So real part of so I alpha I, so substituting this, okay, so substituting S of t here, then we get what alpha I into e power j 2 pi substituting this here, 2 pi, and each path will have its own Doppler shift, so it will not be just fc, it will be fc plus fdi into t minus tau I, because it is what, t minus tau I, no? So s of t minus tau I means, so t minus tau I will come, and here also t minus tau I will come. Additionally, what will be coming here is, because of the motion of the receiver, different path will have what, different Doppler shifts, because they are making different angle. So tau I into x of t minus tau I. So this is the received band pass signal in terms of the transmitted baseband signal. Actually, it is band pass signal. You can write this also like this. This also like y of real part of y of t into e power j 2 pi fct. So now we are going to relate this is the received baseband signal in terms of transmitted baseband signal that we are going to relate. So we compare these two actually. So before that we have to expand this. So R of t, the received band pass signal R of t is equal to real part of alpha I into e power j 2 pi fdi t minus j 2 pi fc of tau I. Next, there may be there may be one more term here, that is minus j 2 pi fdi tau I and into x of t minus tau I into e power j 2 pi fct, like this. And you can simplify this further. If you see this one, this is the fdi t is what? Fdi is equal to, it will be fm means v by lambda into cos theta I. Actually, the value of fm is the maximum Doppler shift, positive Doppler shift is v by lambda. If you see in problems, it is only in the order of a few. It is in the order of few tens of hertz. Means the typical value may be 40 hertz, 50 hertz, like that. And the propagation delay in the order of actually microseconds or nanoseconds. So when a few tens are multiplying with microseconds, nanoseconds, and this value will be very small, so that you can neglect this part and we can come to these two. And if you see here and compare this one and this one, you will get the actually the received baseband signal as y of t is equal to, so comparing comparing this one and this one, what we get, so we are now writing the received baseband signal in terms of transmitted baseband signal. So received baseband signal is y of t. This is what? Received baseband signal. Means after down converting the received band pass signal, you will get what? Y of t. So received baseband signal, you get what? Y of t is equal to I, and it is alpha I into e power j 2 f pi fdi t minus j 2 pi fc into tau I into x of t minus tau I. This is what the received baseband signal. So as a starting of the discussion, we assume that the receiver is means the user is, we assume that the user is stationary, is not moving now. So the user is stationary. If you assume this, the user is stationary, if you assume the user is stationary, in such case, actually the velocity v will be 0 and the fdi will be also 0. fdi will also be 0. Then what you get is in this above equation, if you substitute fdi is equal to 0 for this assumption, the received baseband signal y of t is equal to sum of I alpha I into e power minus j2 pi fc into tau I into x of t minus tau I. So this is the so all the complex wireless medium multipath propagation now came to this point that y of t is equal to something like alpha I is the real value, it's the attenuation value, into e power minus j2 pi fc tau I into x of t minus tau I. So this is can be now analyzed for wideband communication as well as for narrowband communication. So first we start with the narrowband communication analysis. So for narrowband communication, means narrowband or for a low bitrate communication, so we analyze for first this one, then we can improve that one. For wideband also we can discuss. So for a low bitrate communication, so the duration of the symbol, which is Ts, will be very large as compared to the difference between the propagation delays. So what I am trying to say here is the delay differences between the propagation delays are very small as compared to actually the duration of the symbol itself. Say what we transmit here is some S of t, actually S of t actually we are transmitting, which is a RF pulse, means say actually a band pass pulse of duration is Ts. This is actually some S of t, we transmit this actually, and after down converting this we find its baseband equivalent, that is what, so it is actually x of t, right? So x of t is a baseband signal of some pulse kind, like this is baseband pulse, x of t is a baseband pulse and its amplitude will be a complex number, and complex number into maybe 1 by Ts you can add here. Why? Because to make this waveform energy 1 and x of t is carrying this complex number. So x of t is this. Now if you see this width of this baseband pulse, means x of t duration is Ts. Ts is much greater than what actually difference between the propagation delays. Now we will just draw this one so that we will get clarity on this. Say if you plot, so from this equation, if I plot x of t minus tau 1, t minus tau 1 is the first part. So if I plot tau 1, x of t minus tau 1, it will be something like this. It will start at tau 1 and it ends where it is Ts plus tau 1. And this is actually x of t minus, so this is nothing but what, x of t minus tau 1. Now if I plot again x of t minus tau 2, and I am now taking like this. So this is what the next is what, so this is tau 1 and this is for what, x of t minus tau 2. Now what the assumption here is, the width is actually Ts and this gap between two pulses is actually tau 2 minus tau 1. So if what my assumption is, if Ts is very much greater than tau 2 minus tau 1, I can assume, though they are two pulses are superimposed, what I can assume here is, I can take this as one pulse because they are very close by. If you plot them superimposed in a superimposed manner, if I plot, I get actually, if this is the case, I can consider this as single pulse and it is of some tau hat and this is Ts plus tau hat, where tau hat is actually the average propagation delay of the tau 1 and tau 2. This way I can these superimposed pulses can be taken as single pulse like this. When I can assume what Ts is very much greater than tau 2 minus tau 1. When Ts will be as Ts increases, the bit rate or symbol rate will be decreasing. So that's why what we assumption, our assumption, fundamental assumption is what? It is a low bit rate communication. So the Ts is very large. So like this. So in this way, if it is not so, say for example, if it is not a low bit rate communication, then what will we do is, so if you plot, so Ts will be a narrow value, something like this. So it is tau 1, it is Ts plus tau 1. If I plot the superimposed tau x of t minus tau 2, it will be like this. This is tau 2 and this is what? Ts plus tau 2. So if it is high bit rate communication or wideband communication, the difference is here what? The superimposed pulses cannot be treated as single pulse. They have to be treated like they are multiple pulses. So that is the difference between actually. So that analysis we will do later. This analysis we do later, but now we are doing it what? The superimposed pulses we are taking as single pulse. Assumption is what? Ts is very much greater than tau 2 minus tau 1. So with that assumption, what we can do is that x of t minus tau I, because if all of them are plotted, so all of them are plotted because all of them are plotted, it will come like this. So all of them are infinite pulses are superimposed. So you can treat them as Ts is very large, you can treat them as single pulse, and that single pulse is as x of t minus tau hat. So this is the so with this low bit rate assumption, the x of t minus tau I, which is dependent of I, now we make it what? Independent of I here. So we are rewriting this for low bit rate communication as y of t is equal to I alpha I into e power minus j 2 pi fc into tau I into x of t minus tau hat. So for low bit rate communication, we could simplify this like this. And if you observe here, what is this? Is this sum of infinite complex numbers. So alpha I real, and this is what? Alpha I into e power j 2 pi fc tau I is actually infinite actually. They are sum of infinite complex numbers and can write as single complex numbers of h, and y of t is simply h into x of t minus tau hat. So all that multipath propagation is now come to a single point at what? Received baseband signal is equal to h times some random complex number times x of t minus tau hat. That is actually y of t. And if there is also a time correction facility available at the receiver, you can write this as simply h into x of t. So why? Because is if your time difference is 0, then this is delayed by tau hat. If your time difference is changed to not 0, and if you are expecting signal tau hat only, then the signal is on right time, it means it will not be having any delay. So if there is a time correction, so you can simplify this further and further, that simply the received baseband signal y of t is equal to simply a complex number times h into x of t. Now we observe what is h here is, see this one, the h value h is equal to I alpha I into, so alpha I is the ith path propagation coefficient, and this is the ith path phase is how much is here, 2 pi fc into tau I. Now we have to pay attention what here is. So this is for the narrowband communication. So we got this channel, this h you can call it as channel coefficient. We can assume this as channel coefficient. So if you see here closely, here is a propagation delay, and this is multiplied by a high frequency carrier in the order of gigahertz, and in the order of it is nanoseconds or microseconds. When you multiply high frequency carrier gigahertz with micros or nanos, it will make what? The phase, a small change in the propagation delay can create the large change in the phase. That is just see by example. Say for example, this is the 2 pi fc tau I, the ith path phase, and say after 30, if the ith path distance is, if the ith path distance is increased by, say for example 30 seconds, say 30 centimeters, then the delay will be increased by some delta. So we are just analyzing how this is what we are saying that what a small change in the delay can create a large change in the phase. That is the statement now. So how it will happen, that we are now discussing is that if you see ith path length is just changed by 30 centimeter. For example, it is changed by 30 centimeter. Then thereby the delay will be increased to what? Tau I to say delta tau. The delay earlier was tau I, now it is extra delay is how much? Say delta tau. So delta tau is equal to actually how much the path length is 30 centimeter. It means 30 into 10 power minus 2, and the speed of propagation is 3 into 10 power 8. So it will be equal to actually 1 nanosecond. Now it is what 2 pi fc into tau I plus 2 pi fc into 1 nanosecond, means 10 power minus 9. If even fc is equal to say 1 gigahertz, then the new means in the new location, just over short distance of 30 centimeter distance, the phase is changed by how much is fc tau I plus 2 pi. So it means what so 2 pi is what the rotation is same only, but what I'm trying to explain here is that a small, only a 30 centimeter distance, if you change the location of the user, it creates a large change in the phase. Thereby what happens is, so the sum of the complex numbers, they may add it together. These complex numbers, they may actually cancel each other. What I'm trying to say, these multipaths can actually combine either constructively or destructively or even short distances, that because of what this high frequency carrier multiplied with what this propagation delay. So thereby if even you move, so if you distance axis, even you move by centimeters range also, one time they may all constructively added, and the next time maybe all maybe what destructively added, means they cancel each other, or there may be a lot of fluctuations in the value of h or mod h value, and if you plot this mod h. So this is what actually the small scale effect means. Even you move by centimeters also, in the zone of centimeters also, you are getting a lot of fluctuations in the signal level, means signal mod h in this one, because y of t is equal to, you can write as, so mod y of t is equal to mod h into x of t. So we are now talking about just this one. So the channel coefficient actually the fluctuating very rapidly over the short distances due to only the fact of what constructive addition, destructive addition, because of this high frequency carrier multiplication with the propagation delay. So we stop this discussion and we'll continue this in next class. And to verify this one, we gave one problem on the problem set. So please solve it. Thank you.